guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have a bit of explaining to do. I know in my last video that I said I was going to try to have videos up every 2 weeks. I did make a video a couple weeks ago and uploaded it to my computer, went to go edit. There was no sound. Genius me forgot to put my mic on, so the whole thing recorded with no sound. I was so upset, but the last 2 weeks I haven't had any time to sit down and video. The weekend after I had filmed that, I was going to film another one, but it was my birthday weekend and we ended up being really busy. So I finally had time to sit down today, and I decided I haven't done a tutorial in a while. A lot of the time I'm filming BoxyCharm videos and whatnot. So I figured I would go ahead and do a tutorial for you guys. I've been kind of playing around with my new, or semi-new Lorac Mega Pro 2 palette. This is my favorite palette right now. Like, every time I go to do my makeup, I would reach for this one. It's just so pretty. Like, if you guys haven't seen this thing, it's gorgeous. And these colors down here are like my faves. If I'm not mistaken, this was only a limited time palette for around the holidays, but if you did get it, this is the one that I use in my tutorial today, so you can follow along. If not, you can find similar shades in a lot of different palettes. They're pretty much just purpley plummy shades, but I think they'll be pretty easy to find in anything. Alright guys, so if you want to see how to get this look, just keep watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Bye! Alright guys, so I'm starting off with a nice clean and moisturized face. And first I'm going to go in with my Spackle Hydrating Primer by Lorac and just apply this all over just to get my face nice and primed. Then I'm going to apply my Urban Decay Primer Potion to my lids. This is just going to help keep the eyeshadow lasting all day and give that a nice base. I'm going to set it with my Tarte Smooth Operator Finishing Powder. I'm just using an e.l.f. Eyeshadow brush here, and this will keep it from being tacky when I go to apply eyeshadow. Going into my Lorac Mega Pro 2 palette, we're going to use the shade Tawny and just put this in our crease. This will be our transition color. I really like this shade as a transitioning color. It works really well, and I'm using my Morphe MB23 blending brush to do this. And we're just going to blow it out and just use those windshield wiper motions. Next, I'm using my NYX Eyeshadow Base in the shade Skin Tone, and I'm just going to apply this to the lid. This will help my eyeshadow that I'm fixing to apply just stick on there really well. It kind of gives it that pop of color and just helps it really stand out. And we're going to use Soft Plum on that same e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush and just pack this on the lid. I love this shade, it's so pretty. It has like a purpley undertone, but not too purple. And we're just going to put that all over the lid. Next, I'm going to use the shade Goji on my MB23 again, and we're just going to put this in the crease, but not too heavy, just a really light touch, just to add that little bit of berry tone to the crease. Next, we're going to use Cabernet on my Sigma E25 brush. I'm just going to put this on the outer corners and blend it in, just blending that in really nicely. Just a little bit at a time. I'm not going real heavy on it, just kind of lightly adding and building it up. And I'm just going to put this out there and blend it inwards into the crease and along the lower lash line. Next, I'm going to use Proseco and Bisque, and I like to use both of these because Proseco is just so pretty, but Bisque mattes it down some and it just works so well for a highlight shade. Then I realized I didn't record my foundation. I used the Naked Skin in 2.0 with my Real Techniques complexion sponge and my Maybelline Fit Me concealer in Fair with my NYX HD concealer in 04 Beige. And I'm just blending it out with that complexion sponge. I love this little thing. It's so great for blending everything out. I use the Maybelline concealer under my eyes and around my face just to highlight, and then I use the NYX concealer because it's closer to my skin tone. I just put that on my reddened areas to help cover that up. Then I'm going to set that with my Amazonian clay finishing powder and my Real Techniques setting brush. Then I'm going to use my NYX HD finishing powder in Banana and my Real Techniques powder brush just to set the foundation and concealer. This brush is so big. Then I'm going to use my Tarte Amazonian Clay bronzer in the shade Park Avenue Princess, and I'm just going to apply this with my Real Techniques blush brush just to warm up the face and give it some more color. Next, I'm going to use my Too Faced Love Flush Blush in Baby Love, and I'm using my Vasanti blush brush to just apply that to my cheeks and give it some more color. I'm not usually super big on blush, but this color is just so gorgeous and it works really well with my skin tone. And it doesn't look like it here, but I actually put a pretty good amount on. Yep. Next, I'm using my Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in Reserve Your Cabana. I don't know who this would be a bronzer on, it's definitely a highlight. And I'm using my e.l.f. blush brush to apply that. Then I'm going to use my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Champagne Pop just to add a little bit more color. The Wet n Wild highlight is pretty sheer, so this one is just going to add a bit more to it. Then I'm going to go into Proseco and just to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. And I'm just going to pull this into the eyelid a little bit just to blend it in really nicely and just brighten up that inner eye. Then going back into Goji, I'm going to apply that using my Real Techniques detailer brush just to my lower lash line. And I'm also going to apply Cabernet. This is going to kind of give it that little bit of a smoky look. Then using my eyebrow brush, I'm going to go into the shade Black, and I'm just going to apply this to my upper lash line just to make it a little smoky, but still keeping it nice and soft. This is great instead of putting a liner on if you want to keep it nice and a little more natural looking. Then using my NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown, I'm going to brush out these bushy eyebrows and get to working on them. And I'm just going to go in with tiny little strokes and darken them out and fill them in. I'm going to brush them out to avoid any harsh lines and keep them natural. Then using my Pixi Brow Powder Trio, I'm going to go into that middle shade and just brush this into my brows. It'll help fill them in a little more without making them too dark. Then I'm just going to brush that out and get it nice and blended. Okay, so I get a little into my music and I improvise microphones. Don't act like you don't either. Speaking of microphones, I'm using the Cello Eyebrow Defining Gel to set these bad boys down. Then I'm using my Lord & Berry eyeliner in dark black to line my tight line. I normally wouldn't favor a wooden liner, but this one is amazingly soft. Then I'm just going to curl my lashes with this torture device. Then I'm going to apply the Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara. This thing is huge, but it is wonderful and I love it. Obviously this was my first time using it, but I have fallen in love. It just really separates all the lashes, but still gives you a lot of volume without being chunky. It's just perfect. Then using my Ofra Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick in Pasadena, we are just going to finish up this look. This is my absolute favorite liquid lipstick. It's just perfect, great shade, and all the Ofra liquid lipsticks are just amazing. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks, bye!